Since I'm sitting next to Vince, and he's going to say it also, I think it was Vince that went to this. I'm advocating for you here, Vince. And you can do it too.
I'm not going to stop you.
I know you will. He went to the city council about the floods after the flood, and the city council, and basically asked them to waive the cost of the permits for the people at Stockade. So I have to give Vince credit for that. But sorry about that. I was thinking Steve down at the city hall. It's my understanding that yes, there are some fees for permits that are not terribly expensive. If you're going to put in a window or something easy, that probably could be waived. And I'm going to go with Phil, that he mentioned some of these permits could be done online. It should be fairly simple. The larger projects that you're doing, if I'm correct, it's usually about 1% of the total cost. I did a project a couple of years ago, and the permit cost a couple $100, and that is significant. Let's see. Part of the other question was what? The deterioration? What was the second part?
It all had to do with no, that's the residency. Why what incentive do you propose for a homeowner in Bellevue to improve his property, considering the high cost of fees for permits, but as the neighborhood around him is deteriorating? Why bother?
Okay.
Apparently, is
thank you for the reminder. We got held up on permits here, and that goes basically to what I said earlier, and that is people don't want to improve their houses if they see the neighborhood going down, and so they don't want to spend any money. They don't want to spend money for permits. They don't want to spend money for windows or paint because they just think their investment is not going to be recouped. So we need to look at all the other situations, and I think some of the smaller permits could be waived, and I think the larger permits for the really big projects, you really need a specialist. Thank you.
Obviously, in tough economic times, we need to look at other sources of revenue as a way of also keeping taxes down. What I would like us to do, and we've had a couple of very preliminary conversations about this, is look at ways of somehow coming up with ways of rewarding people for home improvements. Whether, it's some kind of a tax break for a certain period of time or something like that. As I said, it's just something, again, we've had just very preliminary conversations about. I don't know, legally whether we can do this, but it's something I would like to explore further.
I think that homeowners, if they're going to improve their property, there should be an award incentive. I mean, we do get, if code enforcement comes, if you have a problem with your property, you get fined. So if somebody does want to improve their property, why not a reward? So I think that's a good idea. But I think we have to realize what the spirit of a permit is for the inspector from the city to come in and make sure the contractor did the proper job. That's what a permit is for, to make sure the electrical is done properly, to make sure the plumbing was done properly, make sure the framing was done properly. That's what it's for. But I'm going to tell you, I know people that have permits. On my mom's house, a permit was pulled to do her house and rebuild the porch. Well, this was 25 years ago, when I helped my son redo it 2 or 3 years ago, there was no footings put down for the porch. So I asked the code enforcement guy, I said there was a permit pulled. He said he looked in the file and it was blank. So it never got inspected. So if you're going to pay for something, you should certainly get that service and be protected by the people that are supposed to protect you. But I am all for, and the permits are kind of costly. I think we should have, maybe if somebody's redoing a bathroom or a kitchen, have a blanket permit to cover plumbing, structure, and electricity. Have a blanket permit, consolidate it into one permit instead of having 3 different permits. You put a roof on. When I had mine done 5 years ago, I think it was $75. I don't think one should be necessary for a roof. That's a replacement item that you're putting on your house. It's not building new. Thank you.
Mr. Rivera.
Just to look at all fees that are high and see if we can reduce them to improve, to entice homeowners to do improvement. And by doing improvement, this will help us to improve our quality of life in Schenectady. I will definitely look at that and ways and means to get fees reduced. Thank you.
do have an excellent rewards program in Schenectady for improving your house. It's a higher tax bill. Plain and simple, that's what it is. You do the work on your house, they feel your house is worth a little bit more, we're going to hit you for a little bit more on the tax side. And again, I'll go back to the same. You had a window in your house, you put a new window in, why do you have to pay more for it? You had a roof on your house, you put a new roof on the house, you pay for it. If I'm putting on a 4,000 square foot addition on the back of the house, yes, I would expect to pay for the permits and have my taxes go up. But if I'm replacing piece for piece, there is no reason for taxes to go up. And I'll take it commercially. For a business that has to pay school tax and the property taxes and all the taxes we have here now, we could probably get a lot more businesses into the city of Schenectady. Right now, they're looking for a place to put the solar energy place in. The GE, they have a lot of room there. Unfortunately, if they come to Schenectady and they want to build a nice big plant the size of 273 behind it, they're going to pay a lot of taxes. They're already paying a lot of money for that property. There's no reason, if they want to put in a new building over there, there's no reason for them to have to pay more school taxes or taxes on that property. And that's what's killing our businesses in New York State.
Lisa?
Here comes the sunshine again. Because actually, and I very rarely talk about something that I haven't completely done my homework on, but I want you to be aware of this. And I'm not going to be able to give you all the details, but you'll very soon have all the details. The county is actually finalizing a plan to give rewards to homeowners in the form of tax deferral for home improvements that they make. The taxes will be deferred over, I believe, a 10-year period, and I could be incorrect on that. I apologize, but I'm pretty confident that it's a 10-year period. So stay tuned, because that program has already got feet and it's moving your way. So it's not as bad as it's sounded in the last couple of minutes. As far as improving your property and why you would want to me, it's because I made a commitment to own a home, and I'm proud of my home in Schenectady. Why would I replace my windows? Because I would benefit from receiving lower heating bills. Why would I paint the outside of my house? Because I'm proud of my home and my community. So, you know, regardless of what my neighbors are doing, I believe I have a responsibility, and I believe that we should foster that pride in our neighborhoods and to our neighbors. I also just want to also tell you that the code enforcement and the code department, when Gary took over 6 months ago and he went down to make a concerted effort toward code, for lack of a better word, sweeps, he found out that the department is not computerized. They've been doing everything by paper, which would certainly explain Vince's experience and no follow-through. They're working very hard at this time to ramp up, first of all, their service, and also computerized records, so we can do better follow-through and have a better system in place.
We'll be short. We'll need 24 minutes for each of you, for the 8 of you to give a 3-minute closing. I want to just tell you the topics of the questions that are left. One has to do with, and I think we probably will then wind up, one has to do with the residency. And the resident, if you would, if you feel that there should be a residency, it says as council people, what will you do to enforce the city employee residency requirement? And they wanted you to be specific. City employees to living in the city. 2 questions, 2 different people, 2 different, a general consensus is that the individuals who live where they work tend to develop a greater sense of pride and commitment to their community, as well as contributing financially by their presence. That was one question. We had another question on finances and how we're going to be able to meet our future responsibilities financially. The other one had to do with tardiness and people, taxpayers tolerating tardiness at various meetings of the city council and the committee meetings. Your opinion of the golf course, that was another question. And all of these, we thank you all for all these questions. we could come back next month, but I don't think you want to. And the policy for Union College and their pilot programs. And another question is, why do you think you're the best person for the job? And I think we'll wind up with your 3-minute closing, unless you want to take 30 seconds for each one, or just 3 minutes for your closing. And we'll begin with Phil first for a 3-minute closing. Is that okay with everybody? Or do you feel as if you want to keep going till 10 o'clock?
Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and I hope what we had to say will help you. I will say that, and I didn't do it in the beginning, that I am running on the Alliance Party line. I also am a registered Republican, and I have been picked by the Conservative Party. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a little harder for you to find me as to the court case that went on today. They decided that I don't need to be on the Alliance Party line, so I spent most of the morning in court today, so I'm still a little upset about that. That they decided that they should just kind of put me up and keep me online where everybody else can have 4 or 5 spaces. Bill gets 2. So if you're looking for me on the line, you're going to have to look across the bottom line, look over 4, up 3, and then you'll find me in the middle there somewhere. Again, going back to the best person for the job, I work hard. I've had my business for 26 years. I've had 2 other businesses before that. I've worked in just about every trade that's out there. I know a lot that goes on. I was with the Downtown Schenectady Improvement Corp for about 7 years. Also was on the Zoning Board of Appeals for a couple of years. And Schenectady is, my home. I work on my house every weekend. My house is done up. I help my son with his. I work on the building. I just want to do a good job for the city of Schenectady, bring down the taxes, bring up the quality of life. And again, going back to the selfishness, I have my investment in my home, I have my investment in my business and my buildings. I want to see those go up in the next couple of years there, so I have some money for retirement. And that's basically, I'm going to give you my 3 minutes back to whoever needs it.
Lisa?
So my campaign slogan is for the love of Schenectady, and so I'm going to get to the heart of it. I want to run for city council because of my community and the well-being of Schenectadians is important to me. What I have to offer is my most prized possession, and that is integrity. It's also loyalty to my fellow citizens and a genuine interest in the well-being of this city and its residents. I'm concerned with our ever-rising taxes. I am a single woman with a modest middle-class income, and I am a homeowner in the city of Schenectady. I want to engage in finding creative and competent ways to combat the fiscal burden that has been placed on the backs of our residents. Continuing to look at sharing services, alleviating the unrealistic responsibility of making our county whole, increasing our tax base through the use of the tools that I mentioned to you, tools such as the land bank legislation and key to the city lending plan will certainly lighten our load. We need to continually strive to be business friendly. Because we have the need to ask our businesses to pay a little more than they would in neighboring communities just for the time being, we need to show the value of locating here in Schenectady. Our city departments must be pleasant, efficient, and easy to navigate. Business is just as crucial in raising our tax base as homeowners are. And quite simply, small business drives larger economic development. I think we can look at our procurement procedures more carefully, getting out in front of our bidding process and finding new ways to obtain competitive advantage, saving the city money and passing it along to our residents. Finally, we must find solutions in our neighborhoods, I agree. We must enhance pride in our community, hold accountable our absentee landlords, teach our residents to police for graffiti and trash dumping, and clearly define the code enforcements that are priority. When I purchased my home several years ago, I made a personal commitment to become as involved as possible in my community. And since 2008, I've been in regular attendance to the City Council committee meetings and County Legislature committee meetings. because I want to stay current with the inner workings of our government. I embrace collaboration, be it working with local neighborhood associations, and this won't be the last time you'll see me here at Bellevue, and also discussions with concerned citizens. I bring passion and commitment to what I do, and as each of my employers would attest, when I take on a job, I give it my all. The residents of Schenectady can count on me to bring the same character, skills, and determination to the City Council position. In addition to the Democratic, Conservative, Independents, and working families also recognize my abilities and my determination. For all these reasons, I ask you for your support. Please choose my name, Lisa Perazzo, on November 8th when you vote.
Yes.
Okay, in my closing statement, I can just tell you that I'm somebody that sticks with whatever I do. I haven't been going down to city council meetings for the better part of 20 years because I don't have anything better to do on Monday nights. I like to stick to what I start with, and we certainly need a lot of help in this city. We've had people in power for a long time, and it's a team effort. We keep hearing that working together works, all this stuff. But a lot of it isn't working. That's the truth of it. It hasn't been working. So if you're happy with the way things are, then definitely don't vote for me. That's for sure. I want to see a change here. And we haven't had change. And we haven't had change in a long, long time. You know, a one-sided team is not good, and I don't care who the team is. I don't care Republican, Democrat, whatever. I'm not registered with any party. I don't belong to any party. I have the endorsement of the Alliance Party, endorsement of the Republican Party. But I don't belong to any party. I am independent as they come. And I think Roger Hall will tell you that too if push comes to shove. That's the way I am, and I'm not going to change my ways. But we have had, you know, promises made to us, and I won't go into reading it, from when the candidates, two of our incumbents ran in 2007. They made promises that the neighborhoods are going to get attention. Well, that was in 2007. Has it happened yet? No, it hasn't happened. We've deteriorated even further. That's my passion. That's my passion. And I've worked at things all my life. I was an auto body repairman. I'm blue collar. That's what I am, a blue collar guy. I fix cars for a living. That's what I've done. But I certainly can give you a different perspective because I know what it is on one side of the rail as all you are, and I like to see what it is on the other side of the rail. But I have been called in print an unofficial ombudsman for the people of Schenectady, and I'd like to just carry that through and be an official ombudsman for you people of Schenectady. My passion is in what I do is because I can feel for all of you. I'm in the same boat. I may even be a little worse off, to be honest with you, truthfully honest. I'm having a hard time making ends meet. It's not easy to live in a house in Schenectady and to keep your house up. I know what you're all going through, and Jackie and I and Jack Coons and maybe some other people here, we founded this organization back in 1999 or 2000. And we had many meetings over that to found this organization. So we know what neighborhoods are about. We certainly know what neighborhoods are about. That's our passion. That's why we started this. We didn't start this for nothing. We saw our neighborhood maybe not going the way it should have, and we wanted to see the neighborhood improve. So we can take that to all the neighborhoods in the city, because walking through the neighborhoods, they all have the same problems. Everybody's facing the same problem. High taxes, services are going down, and what do we do about it? Well, we need some new, fresh ideas, and I can give you a common sense approach if I'm elected. So please, consider me this year for city council. I'd appreciate it, and like I said, if you're happy with the way things are, don't consider me, I'll tell you that. You probably haven't heard that before, but don't consider me if you're happy with the way things are going. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here tonight to present myself. Again, my name is John Mutuviran, and I'm running on the Democratic, Independent, Conservative, and the Working Family Party line. My work as an accountant, businessman, and community leader has given me a unique picture on the challenges the city and the residents are facing. I care about our community, that's why I'm passionate to serve the people of Schenectady. As an accountant, I believe in maintaining fiscal discipline and transparency. I am and will continue to campaign against domestic violence in our city. This is a disease that we need all of us to help to get rid of it. We must work with the law enforcement department to reduce crime and improve our quality of life we all deserve. I will work to make taxes affordable in Schenectady so that we can afford to live and work here. We must be financially creative in this city. and look at other ways to generate revenue without placing the burden on taxpayers. We must increase efficiency, reduce operation costs, and eliminate unnecessary spending, and get things done more smarter and cheaper for taxpayers. As an accountant, businessman, and community leader, I am uniquely qualified to be your next representative on the City Council. I politely ask for your vote on November the 8th, 2011. Thank you.
Jackie?
I think all of you, I think all of you know what a city council member is responsible for, what the city council does. Just in case there's a couple that don't, city council basically is the governing body of the city. It governs policy, it looks at contracts, approves contracts, goods and services for the city, and it also basically passes and adopts all the laws of the city. So just so you know what you're going to be voting for, or what somebody is going to be doing. I am a true independent also. I am a member of the Alliance Party, yes, and I have been endorsed by the Republican Party, but I am also a true independent. I've never actually belonged to a political party because I feel strongly at this point that I don't want to be beholden to anybody. Any decisions that I would make as a council person basically would be in the interest of you, the resident. I'm there, I'm a homeowner, I pay my taxes. Yes, I have pride in my neighborhood. Been on Euclid Avenue for, I won't tell you how many years, but certainly significant. My time is my own. Many people can't say that. My time is my own, and that means that I can spend as much time on your problems as anybody, and probably a lot more. I have always actually pushed for sound and creative solutions, and we need to think outside the box. We do need to find revenue streams to address our taxes, because we really haven't talked about the budget. We haven't talked about the budget, but the budget can be pared just so far. And believe me, folks, we're at that critical mass where that budget cannot be pared much further, because most of that budget is chewed up with the pensions and salaries of the public safety people. But as my bio shows, that I've always worked in the private sector, and now I would like to work in the public sector in the city of Schenectady as a council member. You won't have to worry about that 3-minute rule at the privilege of the floor, because I'll give anybody my phone number and you can give me a call at any time. And just so that at least one person here knows, I will not accept health benefits from the city. Mine 3 minutes goes awfully fast. I'm going to say 4 council seats. Julie, you shouldn't do that. Thank you. Vote for Jackie Hurd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I guess, first of all, again, thank you for letting us be here tonight. Appreciate this opportunity. I guess I just want to reiterate, I believe really very strongly in partnerships. And I think the partnerships that we have formed the last 7 years, as I said, has revitalized the downtown. It's allowed us to consolidate or share services, which certainly helps in the tax area. We have enhanced our tax base. We have created jobs. And I very much want to see, I think the Democratic team has shown that we work well together. We've accomplished a lot in the last 7 years. And I would just like to continue to be part of that team to continue the progress that we've made. Thank you.
Heather?
I just wanted to let everyone know tonight that I am a registered Republican, and I have been endorsed by the Independence Party, the Conservative Party, and recently the CSEA Union. So that's just a little background as to where you'll find me on the ballot. I want to take this opportunity to answer a couple of questions that people posed from the audience. The first of which is dealing with the finances and how we as Schenectadians are going to meet our future responsibilities. The media just recently reported last week when we had budget discussions that Schenectady has been spending down its reserves for quite some time now, Whereas over in Albany, just across the way, Mayor Jerry Jennings balanced his budget and has not even tapped into any of the reserves in Albany. So I'm here to say tonight that when our reserves are spent down and when they're gone, it's game over. So we have got to do something here to consolidate and share our services and work on ways in which we can save our government money and save it from going bankrupt. Earlier today, before I came here, I called the Department of State, Dee Dee Scozafaza's office, and they have grant programs available so we can conduct studies here in the city to be able to analyze how we can better share our services. A colleague of mine is a county legislator in Rensselaer County, and they've done some great things over there to save taxpayer dollars and be able to share and consolidate services without having to lay people off. So that's something we need to look into. To just give you a little information about what I can offer to the City Council, as an attorney, I like to consider myself a critical thinker. I'm an independent thinker, and I will critically analyze problems and come up with creative solutions for you. I'm also I am a big proponent of reaching out to the other side, negotiating with people, and trying to reach solutions in the best interest. So you will see me reaching out to our other public officials, regardless of what party they are affiliated with, to try to work in the best interest of Schenectady. I think that is vital. In closing, I just want to mention a couple other things. I did not talk about domestic violence this evening, but domestic violence is a huge problem in the city of Schenectady. It tops the 911 calls here to the city. This month, October, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I commend the mayor for having City Hall go purple. I think that's awesome. And I wanted to let everyone know, October 19th is Go Purple Day, so wear purple. And last but not least, I would like to thank my better half, my husband, Chad Dukes, for coming here to support me tonight. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you all at the polls in November, and please vote Heather Dukes. Thank you.
Denise? Thank you. Elections, they're such a funny thing. I mean, we have 8 people here sitting at this table, all who love the city of Schenectady and want to see the best for all of us. So I think in some respects we have a lot more in common than we think we do. I heard, and I'm not sure who talked about it tonight, but mentioned we incumbents as the people in power. We are not the people in power. You are the people in power. You are the ones who are, well, you're going to be the ones that elect us, and if you go to the polls, your vote is a sign of that. If you don't go, but I can't get elected, or no one here at this table can get elected without your help. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of power right there in the ability to vote. Agree with me, disagree with me, these thoughts come to me as I sit here thinking about what I'm going to say. So all I can say to you is in my record of city council, I will stand by it. I think it has been a good one. I've been chair of public safety for many, many years. It was my incentive to get police cars in the camera, or police cars in the cameras. How'd they do that? Cameras in the police cars, which helped us save a lot of money in terms of lawsuits and helped bring a lot of legitimacy back to the police department when it became a he said, she said type of conflict. So there are many things that we've done and that I've done within the city of Schenectady. I would like to continue to do those. Can we do better? We always can do better. I appreciate all of you coming out here tonight, listening to all of us talk, and I certainly appreciate the thoughtful questions that were asked tonight. Thank you very much.
This evening, it's a pleasure to see everybody, and maybe you'll come to our other meetings. This organization has done many things. All the candidates for coming. It's not easy.